Here we begin with the first panel discussion. And our first power panel discussion is on new age customer service, experience and engagement powered by digital, DMS, CRM, social media, email, WhatsApp, SMS. And here I would like to bring it alive, and I'm really delighted to give you some of our gems from our fraternity. Ladies and gentlemen, here the first one to be invited on stage is Mr. Satish Kannan, Director AfterSales, Stellantis, India. Sir, can I have you quickly here on stage? Welcome. चाय तो पी ली है तो तालियां क्यों नहीं बज रही हैं भाई? He's a seasoned professional with extensive expertise in vehicle after-sales operation, and he specializes in driving customer satisfaction, optimizing service network, and implementing innovative strategies. His leadership ensures seamless service delivery, enhancing brand loyalty and operational excellence across Stellantis India's after-sales ecosystem. Ladies and gentlemen, please give him a round of applause again. And here, I would like to call on stage Mr. Vikas Kuthiala, Director and Co-founder, Global Assure. Sir, can I have you quickly on stage? Yes, with a rich experience of 35 years in diverse industries, Mr. Kuthiala's experience ranges from FMCG to healthcare and emergency services. An alumni of FMS Delhi, his global perspective has been instrumental in shaping our company's success. Welcome, sir. I would also like to call on stage Mr. Sanjay Shejwal, National Head Service, Hero MotoCorp. Sir, welcome, 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 welcome. He's the leading customer-centric service operations across India. With extensive expertise in after-sales, service strategy and team leadership, he drives innovation and excellence in delivering top-notch customer experiences, ensuring Hero MotoCorp's leadership in the automotive industry. We welcome you, sir. No, I'm not going forward. I'm not going forward. Yes, yes, yes. This is your family. You should be encouraging them at every step. Yes, thank you. And next, I would like to bring on stage Mr. Rajesh Mehrotra, Managing Partner, RM Consulting. Sir, welcome, welcome. He's an automotive industry veteran with 30 plus years of experience in after-sales business strategy and operational excellence. He has achieved industry-first JD Power CSI rankings, pioneered express service initiatives, and driven team development, customer satisfaction, and sustainable growth for leading automotive brands. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together once again. Thank you. And last but not the least, who am I going to invite as the gardener for this lovely garden? Mr. Anuj Guglani. Oh, very much in time, sir. I welcome you once again. He needs no introduction at all, but he definitely deserves a round of applause. Mr. Anuj Guglani is the chair and the moderator for this panel, and I hand it over to you, sir. Thank you.
So, hello, friends. So, welcome again. So, we thought let's start off the 10th IVAS with the most important chat, vibe, buzz of the town, and that is digital. So in digital, as I had shared in my welcome note also, everybody says that they are digital. Everybody aspires to be digital, but are people really truly digital? And by being digital, it doesn't mean just sending a WhatsApp alert to your customer. It's really truly harnessing technology, and especially in today's day and age when technology is so affordable. You have entrepreneurs, you have MSMEs, developing beautiful cutting-edge technology. You have so many bodies like of the government of India to promote, educate people. So technology actually is available at very, very low cost. We are a country of entrepreneurs, we are a country of IT people, we are exporting it to the entire world. But if we are not able to harness it ourselves, then that can be a really big tragedy. So with this, we want to begin this panel. And we would like to invite the panelists to share in this year, in the year 2024, what have been your best practices, use cases that you really truly feel proud that you did this in digital and you felt that this has made a difference. It has had an impact. Because at the end of the day, what do we take home? Yeah, we take home a nice bonus, a nice salary, we take increments, we take promotions, we take the bangla, the gadi, the benefits, but most importantly, we take that pride, that satisfaction, that I did something or we did something different in the industry, and all the stakeholders, whether it's our suppliers, our dealers, our company, our customers, they are truly benefiting from this initiative. So that's how we would like to do it. And on this, if we can begin with Sanjay, so who is leading vehicle after sales in the world's largest two-wheeler manufacturer. So I'm sure they would be having a lot of tech, digital, IT, AI innovations. So I'd like to hear from you, Sanjay, what you feel this year has been all about in digital and tech.
Yeah. First of all, thank you for having me, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sanjay Shejwal. Talking about digital, I think it will be, this time allotted will be very lesser for all of us to explain what we all are doing in digital, collectively and individually. But when I see this topic, new age customer experience, I think I'm the right person to talk on this topic. And why so? If age is the proxy to newness, I'm handling the youngest consumer of India. The motorcycle users, the young age bikers, the people who enjoy the mobility for the first time, the teenagers and youngsters. And then so on, the mobility journey begins for every Indian per se. Experience is, again, can be divided into various things. The way we experience our teas and coffees outside, the way we experience our same tea and coffee at Starbucks, or maybe at a cafe coffee day, we'll have our individual differences and understanding about experiences. Double click and going into the digital frame, we all are exploring the digital, and believe you me, still none of us are there. Why I say so? Every day you see a new startup coming into the digital universe, a new idea coming into the digital universe. Looking at Hero MotoCorp per se, digitization has remained a forefront as far as our commitment to digitalization and digitization is concerned, be it to our customer or consumer, end user, and so on. Our journey of experience in digital frame this year started from newness of creating our new channel. We call it Premia. The Premia channel, the core ethos and essence of developing Premia for the young age Indian bikers, the hero urban bikers we call, is completely digitalized. We say it on the 48 break journeys, if you see, right from exploration, the way we say discovery to delivery. In the entire journey, Hero MotoCorp has evolved the way Anuj was explaining, we all are experiencing, maybe starting from the web search, how effective are we in terms of discovery if we are going to our showrooms or workshops. Paperless is one part of digitalization, which we have, which have been doing, but paperless is not the only thing to go digital. How meaningfully we are delivering that experience, that we are exploring at Hero MotoCorp, right from discovery to delivery. I can take you on and on this.
So, Isme Sanjay, I'd like to ask one very focused question here. A lot of people, industry pundits, they say that the secret sauce of Hero, in fact, which is not a secret, is the rural penetration. The way you have your inroads in rural, it's unparalleled for a two-wheeler manufacturer. So when it comes to rural customer, how have you been harnessing the digital part for that customer management and experience?
If you see the impressions of rural India, I think they are far better than urban India for anyone or for any product, be it the Paytm transactions, be it the WhatsApp uses. And you will be surprised to know our internal study says the highest consumption of Hero MotoCorp's data uses and clicks are coming from UP and Bihar. And that's the hinterlands of India. So digitalization, or maybe the transactions or the clicks maximum on terms of the effective delivery of WhatsApp, the effective delivery of any app what we are pushing or a app notification through Hero One app are maximum at rural by virtue of one is the mobile adoption and smart mobile adoption thanks to the Vivos and Oppos of the world that they have made it so convenient for our consumers and needless to say the mobile services and the data. The data is being meaningfully used at rural than urban, I would say. In terms of very recently we have launched an app called Do It Yourself. It's giving the right and might of engagement of bike service to the consumer rather than they coming to workshop. Hey, why don't you try on yourself? Do it yourself drive, we see all the Xpulse, Extreme and the range of bikes of premium are 87% of the uses of this product comes from the non-metro cities. That's the tier 2, tier 3 cities of India. So I think, the people are encouraging and anticipating these initiatives at rural better than urban, I would say.
Fantastic. That's very nice and heartening to know. In fact, when that happens, that divide also fizzles out between urban and rural. And I feel that also the migration from rural to urban also reduces because our cities are already so overloaded and they are so congested. And actually, it will be really nice to see if the rural India can take a lead in the digital adoption and innovation. Now, switching gears and coming to Satish, in fact, before the session, Satish mentioned that they have some very innovative digital solutions which they are harnessing, using AI for inspection. And that also reminded me, we also have a booth outside of a company called Botivity. They do underbody and entire vehicle inspection, especially those large lorries, trucks, buses, four-wheelers, where certain areas of the vehicles could be inaccessible. So they send those autonomous robots and that inspects the entire vehicle, 360 degree. Just look at the technology. And this is a startup. It is not the Microsoft or the IBM of the world. It's a startup. That's what I mentioned. The tools which are required to use these AI technologies are not that far-fetched or inaccessible. They have really got democratized. And we have so many startups who are offering AI technology, digital. So it's time that we, take that leap and harness them and adopt them. So Satish, would you like to share those innovations that you mentioned?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you for this opportunity. Before getting into all this innovations and everything, let me go. Most of us here, for example, me, I lived in my life without a telephone at my home. Like if someone of my relatives or anyone calls, we have to go 4 or 5 houses. They will come to my home and say that your relative has called, can you please come? So that's the era we lived in and that's how, that kind of family is what we're from. Today, if I see my same home, we have 10 mobiles today with 10 connections and two different numbers for everyone, right? So that's the way we have evolved. So we played on the real grass, and we are now playing on the artificial grass also. So this is the only generation, I would say, which has seen from this extent to that extent. So 20 years back when I was a technician, right? Just going back to the...
Oh, wow, really?
Going back, yeah, I am the first batch automotive mechatronics student in this country, sponsored by Daimler Chrysler, Mercedes-Benz.
Beautiful.
So when I was a technician, the customer used to wait or the customer used to load the car on the truck and send it to the workshop on the street. 10 years back, the customer calls the call center and waits for the truck to come. Now, for 5 years back, the customer says, I called up the call center, take the custody of my car and relieve me first. The latest customer, what he's expecting is, if my car meets with an accident or a breakdown, you should call me knowing it. That's the expectation of the customer today. And that is how one of our cars is also designed, Jeep Grand Cherokee. Wherever there is breakdown while driving the car, the intimation goes to our partner Allianz call center and they immediately dial to the customer and speaks to him. So this kind of technology is today expected by all the customers. That is how we have been growing in digitally, I would like to say. In the same with insurance also, the connectivity and everything which has come up today is also helping to understand the customer's driving pattern, how is he driving, which is also helping us to understand how fast the service schedule will be to him. so that the push notifications are going to the customer to his app. So there's something called Jeep Life app we have, every customer downloads. Based on his driving pattern, he gets the push notification. Your car is due for service, please bring the car for service. So this is what is the expectation of the customer today, and we have to go with that expectation. But 15 years back, we wait for the customer to come. 5 years back, customer expected us to call. Today, there's no such. It is all an intimation which is going to him. He has to come to us.
So Satish, what do you foresee 5 years down the line now?
5 years down the line, what I see is even this without this push notification, I think he should get everything controlled from his mobile. Everything controlled from his mobile. That's what I see.
Perhaps something like this can be embedded in our hand, in our arm.
Something like that, or just press the button. We should get the information just on a button, or maybe not even using mobile in the car while he is driving. On the instrument panel, there should be some display. You just press it. It has to come to our intimation, and we have to do it. That should be the expectation.
I asked this question just for us to know the role of digital is only going to grow in our industry. So we cannot afford to ignore it or say that, hey, this is very high-tech stuff, it's not for my industry, not for my domain or my profession. We have to embrace it, and we have to be aligned to the latest developments. That's very important.
So while we bring this to the customer, it is also important that people who are associated with the customer also should know this. Right? For example, let me give you an example. The customer used to come to the workshop. We all are customers. We all own a car. We go to the workshop, and the job card is opened, and we get the information that these are the repairs which need to be performed. Suddenly, we get a call from the service advisor from the workshop saying that there are some extra things which needs to be done on your vehicle, right? So this actually creates a doubt to the customer. When I was with you, there was nothing, there was no problem you said about it, but suddenly you're coming and telling me that there's a problem now. So this creates a doubt on the customer whether this is really or it is being created. The problem is real or is being created. So for which there's a tool called video check. I would like you to play that slide if it's possible to the...
Kunal, can you show up the slides?
Yeah.
Satish's slides.
Something called video check, a trusted app for customers. It's an internal app. It's an in-house application. So what happens here, the technician selects the failed part. He selects he takes the photograph of the failed part or the video of the failed part, and then he sends it to the service advisor. The service advisor further checks it once again, and also if he wants to check it physically, he will do that. Then he creates an estimate about it, and this flows to the customer through a link. With the access of the link, the customer can see the failed part on the photograph and also on the video. If needed, he can also have a video call on the link. He can see that immediately. So the customer need not come to the workshop for this, or he should not have any apprehension on our products or services. So this was very clear. By doing this, the customer authorizes the repair. Either he says he approves, he rejects, or he asks for any queries. There are only 3 options given to customer.
And I would like to add over here, Satish, digital, yes, very high-tech, AI, this, that. But what is the main purpose of this app?
Transparency.
Quick approval. Trust. No apprehension in the mind of the customer. ये महंगा part ऐसे ही change कर रहे हैं, इसकी ज़रूरत है नहीं, ये चेप रहे हैं मुझे. This is what the customer thinks. But you have completely wiped out all those doubts, inhibitions, apprehensions. So you have actually gained even more trust. So technology, digital, AI, not just for the heck of it, not just that it looks nice in an ad or in a standee, but technology which delivers, and the purposes will not change. Purposes will remain the same. Trust, confidence, that's profitability, productivity, efficiency. The main objective shall remain the same. Digital is just a journey, it's an enabler. It is not the objective. That's very, very important for us to know.
Yeah, after approving or disapproving, the customer has an access to see this for 30 days. As a company, we have an access to see this for 10 years. So in future, customer comes and tells us that you have not come to me for this. I was not knowing this. We have a solid record to say that, sir, we sent you this and you rejected it. So this is actually working well. And we have implemented this for both the brands, Citroen and also for Jeep. It is really working well. It has improved the business, at the same time increased transparency. Complaints have drastically reduced. Huge reduction. So while we use this, there are other tools which are needed for the people to work. Maybe let someone speak, then later on I may come,
Sure.
if it's okay.
Absolutely, why not? So with that, we switch gears, and in fact, so friend, that was Mr. Satish Kannan, Director After Sales Stellantis. And now, as we say, after sales is no more after sales. After sales comes before sales, because that actually decides your next vehicle. Because now we're in the next vehicle phase. Very few are the first-time buyers. Very few. So switching gears, in fact, Satish had started his talk by talking about the vehicle on the truck. So let's talk about the RSA. You know, you might be having the best services in town, you might be having the best workshops in town, best digital, best objectives, but if your customer is stranded in the middle of nowhere, and he or she, especially if she has to wait, families in the vehicle, you know, all the experiences go down the drain. You might be best in your services at the workshop, but if the person cannot get help on the road, it's really tragic. Add to that in case of commercial vehicles. So, in fact, I can see Mr. Ramesh, and I got reminded by that point. You know, it's all about the time is money. In fact, I remember I had gone to one of the Volvo Aisha workshops there. I met one of the dealer principals. He said, he gave an example how critical this turnaround time is for them. He said they had a customer who was carrying livestock in a vehicle, and the vehicle broke down in the middle of nowhere at the 45-degree temperature on the highway. He said, if you don't come on time, my livestock might just start losing life. So it was literally a matter of life for the RSA teams to reach the stranded customer. So going by that, so getting Vikas in the conversation, let's talk about RSA, let's talk about getting help to the customer, and then the customer to the high standards world-class workshop.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting Global Assure. So just picking up on the theme of digital. So Global Assure is a very young company, right? It's a startup. And from the very first day, we were digital first, which means that every proposition that we conceived, we had a digital platform to try and shake hands with our customers. Although our vision is digital, but in real practice, I would call us as a phygital, which is a combination of physical assets and technology, because technology has limitations. We can only move, in synchronized steps with all the other stakeholders. You mentioned about the stakeholders, and we see that every day. We are the creation of the ecosystem that kickstarts when a car is sold, right? So this summit is about after sales. So which means that we only come after the car is sold, but we take an issue with that term after sales, because it suggests that car has been sold, now let's see what we can do. It creates in the mind of the entire ecosystem as if the sale of the car is the pinnacle point. After that, anybody who can do anything in the ecosystem is welcome to do so. And I think if we conceive of a digital world, then we can't operate in silos. And you mentioned that, right? Because digital means that you are creating a joint custody of the promise around the brand in which the customer has invested. The trust doesn't end with the car leaving the showroom. That's when the trust starts. So what you call after sales is actually the beginning of the experience you have promised, right? And the basis of any trust is to understand what are the underlying risks in the operative journey of a person who's owning a car, driving a car, enjoying a car, getting service, and despite of all these things being very well managed, there will be breakdowns. There will be accidents and breakdowns. And that, I think, is, to me, the most important phase in the ownership of the car. It's like having a health challenge, even otherwise a very healthy body. You will fall sick, you will have accidents. how is the ecosystem around you designed for you to be taken care of in real time. So we have invested, as I said, incrementally in our technology to be digital. We have a call center. We still can't do without a call center. But the moment the call comes in, thereafter, the entire experience is real time and digital. Now, as we move along and as we mature in our understanding of the customer promise, and we are a part of that, we realize that the scope of work that has been defined for us cannot be done in isolation. There is, I think the time has come for us to recognize lines are blurring and we are all on a common platform. From start to finish, we must build an ecosystem where the partners have same standards, have the same philosophy, the same commitment to customer service. So if we are stepping up and coming to the office of Stellantis and saying, we want to be your, after sales service partners for roadside assistance, then we have to make sure that we invoke trust in them, that the people who work in our organization, the technology that we have is on par with what they have, because only then will the service move seamlessly from the call going to their office versus ours. Or people talking to their app, but we get activated. So for that, the one philosophy that we have at Global Assure is that we always keep our internal KPIs 1 or 2 notches above the SLAs we sign with our partners. Because that is the only way to ensure that whatever we do in the pursuit of delivering to our customers, we are ensuring that we are working well within the expectations we've set with the customers, the SLA signed. Like you said in your earlier call, don't chase profit, right? We certainly don't do that. We chase our internal KPIs, which evolve and get defined because technology is improving, because the turnaround time is improving, because the synchronicity with which a complaint is registered and the call comes to us and the customer is given the visibility that the service is at hand. Now again, if you go back 5 years ago, if a car broke down, you make a phone call and you would wait. Now, if a car breaks down, it's an app. You can generate the request to us in real time, and we will not only activate the relevant service partner, we will in fact be done massive investments and are now going to encourage and enlarge that in the coming years of investing in our own fleet. Because that is one way to ensure that service standards to all our customers are uniform, that the experience is the same. And you can see, you can track, it's easy. If you can track the journey of an Ola cab in which your daughter went for a party, we are using a similar technology. Why can't we use the same technology in giving real-time visibility for people to see where is the service provider, how long will it take for us to do it? And our next step, as we increase the investment in our own fleet, and I think our vision is to have close to 70, 80 of our own vehicles, the customer will be able to DIY. The customer will be able to activate the service provider and see, and we don't have to come in the way because we have made available the infrastructure. It is powered by the digital infrastructure that we have put in place and make it easy and seamless. So if somebody has put a 50, 60 lakh rupee investment in a car, they go to a certain showroom, they are met with certain kind of people in the showroom, the car looks, the car performs, but when a car breaks down, then you can't have the standards which are different.
Then the bullet card is faster.
Yeah, correct.
The 50, 60 lakhs doesn't make a difference.
So therefore, we have to, as I said, always make sure that our KPIs are mapped to our customer SLAs and are one step ahead of that.
Fantastic. That's really nice to know, Vikas, especially Global Assure, an RSA company, customer-centric, using high-tech, and in such a short span of time, they have come such a long way. And I really like that point that they have their KPIs a notch above, of 1 or 2 notches above the OEM's expectation, and that's how they are mapping it. Now, talking about mapping, now we come to Mr. Rajesh Mehrotra, and in such a short span of time, he has, in his earlier profile, made MG JSW MG Motor India win, JD Power CSI, he did a hat trick and now they are carrying on the legacy. In fact, Rajesh and I were having a discussion the other day and he mentioned that something which is very close to his heart is mapping VOC. What is VOC, by the way? Voice of customer? It is also volatile organic compounds, by the way. But we will not talk about the latter, the former, voice of customer, because that's what it is. But if you don't listen to VOC, what happens? Customer becomes volatile, yes or no? And then our profits go down the drain. So in fact, Rajesh, in his decades of experience, he believes that mapping VOC to SOP. SOP, we all know, standard operating procedure. So mapping VOC to SOP and then applying digital to it. So digital being an enabler can do wonders or works wonders. So Rajesh, something on that?
Morning, everyone, and very nice to be here amongst all of you. Thanks, Anuj. We were chatting the other day, and I was sharing my life experience on my learning, which has taken me so far where I am today. And the key to that has been the VOC, and many a times it is mistaken as a complaint. VOC has come, it is a complaint. It's a typical mindset, which not only maybe in after sales, but maybe beyond, because the ecosystem has to support to convert this VOC to SOP. So I would also like to say that, when I started on it in one of the organization, many a times SOP is not a standard operating procedure. It is start with the process, procedure, problems, and product. So you can actually nudge the entire organization to hover around what this customer want to say. What I looked at that point of time, I'm sharing the experience with you, is the entire ecosystem. There's a dealer body, the entire process chain owners in the OEM. We all came to the same platform saying that we will not like to miss a single voice of customer. That means instead of reactive, we are talking about proactive. Starting from the time the customer decides his buying decision or walking to the showroom or going to the test drive, he may be not just talking about experiencing the product, which maybe a test drive coordinator explaining him, but he's also talking about a lot of things which he feels and perceives as a positives or negative about the product. At that point of time, the advisor along with the customer is just mitigating whatever he's asking. But nowhere those voices are captured. What he's talking about good about the product, what he's talking about the good about the performance of the product, what he's talking negative of the product. Now, understand the magnitude of the VOC if all these voices come to OEM, bucketed into these are the sales related problems, these are the service related problems, these are the product related expectation, and it do wonders. The only thing when we started up in that organization, it started with actually inculcating the culture of not missing any voice. In the process of that, you end up, I've given an example of showroom, but it's a similar thing for the workshop. You're not only actually mitigating the long-term vision of the organization that the future product should look like this, future services to look like this, but also able to solve the customer issue then and there, and not letting customer voice to reach to through call center in agitation and so on. So that is how I see that, and subsequently as interface was made, make the job easy for the people who are capturing it, so they should not pain. The moment the dealer feel the pain, that they have to write something in a long, lengthy letter or communication, you're lost.
What can you suggest as a digital tool to capture the VOC, to make the life easy and make it practical to capture?
See, I'm telling this story a few years back. That time the digital was not evolved to that extent. It was more of communication channel, which was simplified. The system used to bucket it based on the keywords, and then somebody used to look at it. But if you talk about today, I think a lot of predictive understanding and bucketing could be done. What was done manually at that point of time is today. So I've used that learning besides the fact, this was a successful thing done in one organization. Rather, It has become a global practice where I represented the Organization of India to go to the forum and talk about how it can be done globally. So, fact of the matter is, you use those learning as you go forward, as the technology is evolving. I think this is the time where you can actually work much more with the productivity on those words being picked up.
In fact, this reminds me, not recent, but actually 11 years back, I had got to know one of the leading dealership groups in the country. They had installed an IVR at their reception, call center, showrooms, everywhere across. And it used to very clearly say that this conversation is recorded for training, evaluation purpose, as the normal disclaimer goes. And all the customer feedback calls were, of course, recorded, whether they were tele in or tele out. And everything would get, captured in text. And then anyone in the organization could just search keywords, what the customers are talking. So and they would also be top satisfaction keywords and top dissatisfaction keywords. And this is not today, this is 11 years back. That too at a dealership, not even at an OEM. A dealership had invested their own personal funds to do it. Whether OEM helped, supported, knew, I'm not sure. Because I did not see in other dealerships of the same brand. So this was there 11 years back. What more is being done similar to this now? Sanjay, you want to add to that?
Yeah, maybe just to give you perspective to what we all are discussing, maybe just think of 12 crore customer calls being tapped at one platform in a year. Maybe just think of 4.5 crore service transactions happening with capturing customer complaints and voices are tapped and processed in one platform. Maybe just think of like 6,000 crores of service revenue being tapped based on the product line, part line, and the problems. And if you see all this in one bucket at Hero MotoCorp in one financial year, this is the transaction what we do, and the digitization, how it has helped us in this mammoth big data exercise. Of course, we have Amazon Web Services to service, we have Salesforce and Oracle and Siebel, and so many folks are helping us to churn this data and get to the granularity of it sitting today. But largely, if you ask me, whatever we are discussing on the experience front, and largely if I see all these crores and crores of transactions talking to me and to my organization and to all of us largely, I think I divided into 3 large buckets. As an experience, as a new age service experience, what customers are telling me, know me, show me, and help me. Please know me, who am I? What are my needs? What are my wants? What are my latent needs? Please show me that you know me. Please express when I come to your workshop, when I am not coming to your workshop, and when I'm happy with your service, when I'm not happy with your service. Show me and help me. Help me when I'm in need. Help me when I really need it. And help me with something meaningful as a product to me, something meaningful as a service to me. And I think we largely bucket, we call it product 360 as a voice and capturing this big data. But we largely see it into these 3 fronts only. Know me, show me, and help me. Because the moment experience goes customer-centric, I think it will be more meaningful. We should have that outward-looking approach rather than what the customer speaking to us. How our approach can be go out to the consumer, how we care about him or her. I think this is how we are looking in current span.
Okay, any questions before we get to the next round? So can we have a mic there, please? Rajesh will come back to you. Yeah, Director.
Hi, morning everyone. I'm Abhishek. I'm from Roadzen. So 2 questions I have. First is to Mr. Satish and to Mr. Sanjay. So in today's we talk a lot about the digitalization. So what is a bigger challenge for us right now? Is it the adoption or is it the innovation for us? So both comes with a bigger price points. So do you think customer is ready to pay for that, for the innovation, or the OEM or is ready to bear the cost to bring that innovation to the customer? Because at both ends there is a bigger challenge. So how does leading OEMs like yourselves cope with it? Because we talked about a lot of like tier 2 markets and also the urban markets.
Okay,
So
customer
still-
paying for it or not? That's the question.
Yeah, because the customer, like in India markets, the only out of the 4 Ps, the only P which works is the price primarily. And so how does OEM deals with it right now?
Okay, fair enough.
May
Anyone can go
may
for
I
it.
dare to attempt?
Yeah, sure.
So, gentlemen, I think innovation, incubation, I mean, all these frugal terms, sitting today, all the innovations are now older. Even the yesterday innovated thing is older today in digital world. Whatever we were using 2 years before as a transparency tool confidently as scanning the customer's VIN number to tag the transaction, scanning the customer's registration number to tag the transaction, capturing the voice and processing it on maybe various tools. Sitting today, they are old. They are of no use because they are unable to handle the data and accuracy. Whatever data we are capturing on voice of customer, on the product complaints, on product 360, we say, they are not handy to us for early warning systems. They are not handy to us to capture the hazards and threats what might happen because of unscheduled maintenance or non-scheduled visits. So innovation, we can say it's a continuous journey.
So he wants to know who's going to pay for it if they offer the innovations. Customer or you or none?
So, I mean, see, everything is ultimately sponsored by customer, okay? But largely, today if we speak, in the competitive era, I think skin in the business of OEMs is increasing. OEMs like us, we are hungry for ideas. We are excited to understand new things in which you guys anticipate and forecast, probably sitting in a four walls, we are not able to forecast. So innovations are welcome, ideas are welcome from all loops and corners, as long as they are customer centric.
So that's the message for you, Abhishek. Innovation में दम होना चाहिए. Don't worry about the costing. And by the way, Roadzen, we should be proud of them. They are an Indian company listed on Nasdaq, and they are a startup, and they are the only company in India right now who's ARAI certified and has an anti-driver drowsiness app. They are the only one. I think really kudos to them. Kudos.
Thank you.
So is your question answered or should I?
Yeah, one more question.
That's
to
it. That's it.
like,
We have more.
is
We have
the-
more questions. Abhishek,
Okay, okay.
practice some Zen
No,
while you
if your
sit.
question is answered by him, then otherwise I would
Yeah,
like to
sure,
answer.
sure.
Right.
There it is. Thank you.
Any organization, they want to bring something new. They will not think to put it on the customer, the cost on the customer. Because any innovation, I know there's an investment to any organization. But it is not to the current customer who is there. It will be for the future customer who's going to come. If we think about charging to a customer on any innovation we do, then we should stop innovating things. That should be the approach of any organization today. Unless we use it, unless we experience it, we will not pay for it. You and me for that matter also, right? So whenever we plan for any project, for example, I showed about the video check project, right? We are not charging any customer for it. There's one more project which I'll show it to you. We are not charging any customer to it. It is the facilitation what we do for a customer to experience the brand and to be with us. Right? What rightly said, know me, show me, help me. I learned something today. Very, very nice it is, right? So it is when I'm helping you, you will not mind to pay in future. When I'm not helping you, you will obviously mind to pay in future. That's all. So any investment is for the future, not for today, to answer your question, right? Thanks.
So in fact, if you take the abbreviation, know me, show me, help me, it's KSH. Like, it's like cash. ये cash करोगे तो ये cash आएगा, ठीक है ना? So I think Shekhar has a question too.
Morning, everybody, and greetings to the elite panel there. Thanks for sharing the insights. I'm just curious and want to ask this question to Rajesh, that this VOC, which we also believe is a very, very potent source of getting direct customer feedbacks. What is the digital tool you suggest or you recommend or you have tried to get that captured and then eventually properly dissected and fed into the systems in the OEM?
Good question, Shekhar. So what I told you that that experience which I had, I tried replicating it in the other part of other career journey. To be very frank, not much has been done. To be very frank, what has happened is, while, as you said, when you sit inside the four wall, your visibility of innovation is limited. But while I've come out as in my different journey currently, I come across two products primarily as the consumer is walking in with his walk style, with his expressions, what kind of things could be captured, which can facilitate the advisors to deal with that customer more effectively. What can be a kind of, and it applies both in showroom and workshop. It also tells you that, whether there's a hot customer or cold customer and so on. Similarly, when he's coming in, what kind of dealing with the customer can happen, and that I come across something like that which exists and which is evolving. Second thing which I also learned and which could be deployed and developed is many a times the frontline warriors who are at the dealership, with huge amount of effort the OEM does to train them what to speak, how to speak, and how to capture, they still lack that kind of zeal to really get into the cause, what is the dissat besides the product and product performance. So I also come across some product which talks about when he's speaking, how those voices are captured, analyzed with the help of AIs, and translate into bucketing of that. So what you're saying, it was not existing some time back, but I have learned that exists now. Is a matter of evolving based on it.
In fact, this reminds me, 2 years back, one of the board members of Maruti Suzuki was on our stage during our tech program, and he mentioned that they were testing an AI technology at their showrooms, that when the customer walks into a Maruti Suzuki showroom, so customer looks at various cars, models. So they had those HD cameras backed by an AI app, and they would scan the customer's eyes and the eyeball movement to ascertain which product the customer might be more interested in. So just imagine, I don't know whether that violates the customer's privacy, you're just getting into his or her brains or eyes only, but this was 2 years back when they were experimenting with it, and we know how AI works. AI, the way it evolves, transforms in no time. So this was 2 years back. Just imagine where we would be now, and where we would be 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the line. So that's what tech is. And it also says, you have a question, sir? You have to be very quick because time's up.
Just a quick one. So, good morning. I am Namandi from Mercedes-Benz India. So, I had a very basic question. So, when we send our cars to a workshop for service, the major problem comes wherein there's a communication gap. Now, how do we get personalization or personal touch with digital? Because what is happening here is, it's a very personal feeling and understanding that with all the systems coming into the picture, every stakeholder is having one more responsibility. And the more stakeholders we keep adding on to the chain, one fails, the complete chain fails. So my question is that how can we make it more basic and effective, including digital? Because if we see A takes the photograph, B sends it, C approves it, it comes back to B again, then the information goes to the floor again that it is approved, please start the job. So, how can we reduce the number of stakeholders in this complete process?
Very practical question.
I'll take this. So, from all the voice of customer, right? From all the complaints when we analyzed, the complaints were found to be 10% of the complaints are reported by a customer before coming to the workshop. 50% of the customers, 50% of the complaints are reported by the customers when the car is at the workshop. And 30 to 40% complaints are after taking the car from the workshop, right? So this post-service feedback, the quality of work is not good and all that. So what we did, when we analyzed this 10% you can't do anything. Before coming to the workshop, if the customer complains, that 10% you can't do anything, okay? So the remaining 50%, when we went and analyzed, it is more of an update to the customer. See, it is like if I'm responsive to you, you're happy with me. If I'm not responsive to you, you're not happy with me. The trust is broken. Okay. Yes or no, say that. That improves the trust, right? So
when people read the message and don't respond to it, it's so irritating, no?
So we brought in a system that every day between 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock, that's the time where the customer reporting to the workshop reduces and delivery also is not there. So during this time, we brought in a new process that every service advisor, whatever job card is open, he has to call and update the customer, right? Okay, but it did not work out. It did not work out. There were always obvious reasons for the service advisor for not updating the customer not lifting the call and all that. So what we did, to make the life simple for everyone, while opening the repair order, we create a WhatsApp group. Okay, you're a customer, you come to me, I'm the advisor, he's the manager, CRM manager. We three of us will be in a WhatsApp group the time I open the repair order. So this increased transparency, update to you digitally or whatever digitally, and you get the message. Whatever query you have, you can also type and ask. We can also reply back to you. If there is something, you can call us. This has reduced most of the complaints on the updation process by the customer. Then to address the complaints which after delivering the car, we are developing a new system. Can you display that chart? Final inspection is the most important process in the workshop, where we found that the final inspector most of the time is not technically sound than the technician who's working on the car. Practically, this is what is happening there, right? So it is more of filling the sheet, tick mark on the sheet and sending the car. So when the customer complains after taking the car, when we go and inspect the final inspection sheet, we find that everything is good on the sheet, but actually the problem is not fixed, right? So can you go to next slide? So we are developing something called Y-Check. Okay, this will be a tool for final inspection. For a particular workshop, after doing 5 to 6 final inspections, this will automatically throw you what you are supposed to check for your workshop. So even there is attrition of the final inspector, anybody coming new, this tool will help us to say that you have checked 5 items in the previous car. In this car, you are not checking it, you have to check this. So that's what we are developing. So this is respective to every workshop. And go back, please. Kindly go back. Respective to every workshop. This is not something which is nationally built. On that workshop, on that particular ID, what I am doing, you will get the information.
Great. Fantastic. And also one practical feedback, if you create a WhatsApp group, the dealership should not archive it after the service is done, because many times people tend to put message again in case of a breakdown or an accident or a repeat service. So the old group becomes old and no one cares to check again, So that's the end of the discussion, but I would like to request all the panelists to just give a 10-second key takeaway for the people over here. So starting with you, Rajesh, 10 seconds, quick key takeaway.
I think this is a topic which we can dwell along but one thing I say, before getting to the digital, I think it is important that, by the time the technician does the job, the customer voice is diluted. Bola kuch hai, samjha kuch hai, kara kuch hai. So in my experience, some of these, when we do the root cause, I think first we have to start with the manual process, then put in the digital, as Satish has talked about, is whether how many such job card in a day as a sample basis the technician has really understood what customer has said. And that brings the kind of understanding on the front line that the way they are actually writing or narrating the concern is not the way the technician understands it. And that bridges the gap, otherwise both work in silos. So I think that is one, and then take it forward on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Sanjay?
So I think new age customer service, I will summarize digitalization as an experience. Only one keyword as a takeaway: empowerment. Empowerment for channel partner and dealers to execute, and empowerment for customers to express. So I think these 3 E's are the experience really, giving that empowerment to execute and empowerment to express. This is what I think experience will all about be.
So I'll just make 2 quick points. One is around innovation. Why aren't customers paying, or what can we make them to pay? See, innovation per se is meaningless. Innovation is only relevant if it is based on a customer insight and you develop a value proposition around it, and when you execute, you add to the trust bank and equity. Only then can you work backwards and say that was innovation. So innovation is contextual. right?
Really like that.
Second is a point I wanted to make in my main address, but here it is. Going forward, as you were saying in your speech in the morning, the transformation of the EV has been spectacular, and I don't think it's going to stop. The entire journey of experience, risk, breakdown, intervention is going to completely transform. It is transforming. The needs of a EV braking on the road, the reason why what you need to do is totally different from the ICE cars. Therefore, this is the time where, given the fact that an EV is a lot more empowered as a digital platform, so the scope for collaborative work has really enhanced. And therefore, the lines between what is my silo and your silo need to be re-examined, and you have to come collectively in the platform and say, this is the total scope of work. Let's not ask who is doing what in the total journey A to Z. Once you have mapped that, then you say who is better placed to deliver and execute, and use technology to seamlessly ensure the customer gets a seamless, frictionless experience. Remember, today when a person is coming to your platform, is a person goes to Amazon, goes to all those other world-class UI UX platforms, and unless you're going to do something in that span of attention and that seamless experience, you're going to fail on the expectation front. Thank you.
Fair point, fair point. So Satish, your key takeaway?
So earlier, trust was built to everyone by words. In today's world, it's not no more by words. And in the future time, it's going to be only digital words, right? So nobody is interested to speak, nobody has time, nobody has patience today. Everybody wants everything fast. And how we can understand the emotions of the customer under digitalization and take it forward is what will be the takeaway for me today. And if customer's expectation is going to be X, we have to be 3-4 times than that. Okay.
Just one point I'd like to just leave all of you with what Vikas just mentioned, that the customer compares us to Amazons and Flipkarts and Zomatos of the world. When we're ordering pizza at home from a leading brand, we never order from that brand's website. Because we ordered once, it was a pathetic UI UX experience. They even mixed up the order, and then they call up from an non-hidden number. So my number was also getting exposed. So it was a pathetic experience. We order the pizza from that leading brand from Zomato, not from that brand's website. So, but that brand is very happy with their digital footprint and everything. But we don't go to them. So they end up paying to Zomato. So digital should not be for the heck of it. It should actually deliver, and UI UX has a huge role to play in that. Thanks a ton. Thank you, audience. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This indeed got all of us wiser, and whatever queries are left, you are most welcome to ask them behind the doors that side. Also, this is time to felicitate the gems that we have here on stage. And to do the honors, I would like to call on stage the representatives from Nippon Paint and Hogger Technique Germany. Can I have them quickly here? Run, 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 run. Representatives from Nippon Paint and Hogger Technique Germany. Sir, I would want you to quickly come to the stage. Yes. Please welcome them. And to begin with the felicitation here, I would like to call forward Mr. Satish Kannan, Director, AfterSales, Stellantis, India. Sir, can I have you forward? The claps here should not cease. Thank you. And next, I would like to bring forward Mr. Vikas Kuthiala, Director and Co-founder, Global Assure. Sir, nobody is getting off the stage because we have a picture immediately after this. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Next, I would like to bring forth Mr. Sanjay Shejwal, National Head Service, Hero MotoCorp. Sir, now can I bring forward the representatives from Hogger Technique, Germany? Yes, 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 quickly. That's so sweet. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Can we have a loud round of applause here, please? Next, I'm glad to give you Mr. Rajesh Mehrotra, Managing Partner, RM Consulting. Sir, can I have you forward? Please don't go. You have to stay there. You have to stay there. Both of you, stay there and pass it on to him. Yeah. Lovely. Can I have all the people here in front? Quickly, quickly, quickly. Yes. All of you. I remember a song on this situation. 2-3 of them got off the stage thinking they're done. Na ja, kahin ab na ja, stage ke siva. Smile please, your biggest ones. Smiles always make you look beautiful, gentlemen. Thank you. This was lovely.